first. I need some more markers. Can somebody donate some markers?
They're trying me.
Alright, so today we're going to review linear equations again. We're going to go over some things that have come up and just go over them a little bit more, do some more practice. And there's going to be some after school work after for today. Alright, so here we have m over 2 minus 2 equals negative 4. I don't think I made this clear before, but when you were doing linear equations, when you're solving for the variable, you're doing your orders of operations backwards. So when you're solving and you're trying to get the variable alone, you do addition, whatever addition and subtraction you have first, and then the multiplication and division. So here we have m over 2, which is our division, then we have minus 2 equals negative 4. So we're going to add 2 first. I need more markers.
You did not make that clear.
Huh?
So you did not make that clear.
But I did it. We always do that first. So I mean, I don't know why you would do something different when we always do it first. All I had to do was watch, but I didn't speak it. It was, but I did it like that every time. So plus 2, so then we're left with m over 2 equals negative 2. Then we multiply by 2. Those cancel out, we multiply by 2. We're left with m equals negative 4. So if we plug it in, we get negative 4 divided by 2 minus 2. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 equals negative 4. Alright, so same thing here. We have negative 4 plus negative a over 3 equals 7. Alright, since we're adding a negative, we can rewrite this as a subtraction problem and go negative 4 minus a over 3 equals 7. And so we do our addition subtraction first, so we're going to add 4. Add 4, we're left with negative a over 3 equals 11. Then we multiply by negative 3. Well, we multiply by 3. And we're left with negative a equals 33. Then we can divide by negative 1. So a equals negative 33. So if we plug that in, we're going to get negative 33 over 3. So it'll be negative 4 minus negative 30. It'll be negative 4 minus. Let me rewrite that. Okay, so we plug it in. We're going to go back to, we plug it in, we have negative 4 plus negative a over 3. This negative does not take the place of this negative in 33. It's negative a over 3, so we negative. Negative 33 over 3, so that would be positive. So it would be negative 4 plus 33 over 3. This would be like negative 1 times. This is a negative. Negative times a negative is positive. So we had negative a over 3, which was negative 33 over 3. So it was like negative 1 times negative 33 over 3. So that made it positive 33 over 3. Or if we would have rewritten it, that would have made it make more sense. Alright, so let's say we had negative a over 3. So we rewrote it as negative 4 minus minus a over 3, and then if we had plugged it in, it would have been negative 4 minus negative 33 over 3, which subtracting a negative is the same as adding. (33 over 3 is 11, so it would have been negative 4 plus 11, which is 7. Yeah, that was a bad example, but glad y'all saw. So how we got back to this being positive is because it was 4 plus negative a over 3. So we got rid of the parentheses, so we wrote as negative 4.
So number 1.
For number 2. So how we got back to a equaled negative 33. So the way we got back to adding instead of subtracting like we did here was because it was negative 4 plus negative a over 3, and we rewrote it to get rid of the parentheses as negative 4 minus a over 3. And so when we plug in our a as negative 33, this minus doesn't count for that. So then we're at negative 4 minus negative 33 over 3 after we plugged in our negative a. And so subtracting a negative, that's like adding. So then it's negative 4 plus 33 over 3, which is negative 4 plus 11, which is equal to positive 7, which was correct. So make sure you're watching stuff like that as well. If I have y, oh goodness gracious. If I have negative, ooh, yikes. What?
I was just checking back.
What is it? If I have negative y plus 2, and then I say y equals negative 3, I don't just put negative 3 plus 2, because y was not a positive 3. I would have to leave that negative and then plug in my negative 3 and add 2. And so then negative times a negative is a positive, so it'll be positive 3 because this is like negative 1. And so then it will be 3 plus 2 equals 5. So make sure you're catching that and you're doing that properly when you're plugging in your answers. All right. So over here we have y minus 4 over 16 equals 3. Now we don't do plus 4 and plus 4 first. This whole thing is division. You don't just take the numerator and make it something separate. This is division. So we're going to do multiply by 16 to get rid of the division. Huh? What?
I was copying.
Can you see that? Because it's barely right. So we multiply by 16 on both sides. 16 times 3 is 16 times 3 is
Oh, 48.
40 what?
48.
Times 3.
I said 16. I thought you said 16 times 3.
Yeah.
I said 48.
Okay. I'm making sure. It just seemed like it was too little. Alright, so now we have addition left. So we're going to go ahead, subtraction, so we're going to go ahead and add 4. So y equals 52. If we plug it in, we get 52 minus 4 over 16. 52 minus 4 is 48 divided by 16. We just did it, so equals 3. And 3 equals 3. Alright, so over here, something else we ran into. Again, like I've said before, it's important that you learn every section and you're comfortable with it because it's going to be implemented throughout the rest of the algebra lessons. Do not forget when you're distributing variables, the variable stays, it doesn't disappear unless it's multiplied by 0 or if it's subtracted from itself or something.
Do not forget that.
Okay, so here, something else I want to point out Don't just go through the motions. Look at the problem and try to think about everything you learned and implement it to make the problem easier. So when we first look at this one, it's negative b times 2 minus 3 equals 1. Because we've been learning about the distributive property, you might automatically just distribute that and do negative 2b, negative b times negative 3 is positive 3b equals 1. So that's a little extra work. Then you have to combine these, which will make it b, positive b equals 1. Because negative 2 plus 3 is 1. And so then that would be 1b, but you don't have to write that, so b would equal 1. But we also remember our order of operations if you're doing this. So, what? So we have, if you see this, there's no variable. The only reason you would need to distribute is if there's a variable inside the parentheses. Otherwise, you could just solve that first. So we could have distributed the negative b, or we could have wrote negative b times 2 with 2 minus 3 is negative 1 equals 1. So negative b, then that would be negative b times negative 1, which would be negative 1, negative 1b times negative 1, which would be positive 1b, or just b equals 1. So make sure you're looking at things like that as well. Don't just go through the motions. Really try to think about it and implement everything you've learned. Remember everything you've learned. Alright, so the second one is the same. Negative b times 5 minus 2, because 2, there's no variable. So we can just say, we know 5 minus 2 is 3. So negative b times 3 would be negative 3b equals 2. Then we divide by negative 3. And you saw here we came to the same answer, distributing or just doing the parentheses first. Again, the only time we really need to distribute is if there is a variable on the inside of the parentheses. And so b equals negative 2 over 3. So if we plug that in, we get negative 2 over 3 times 5 minus 2. So that's going to be positive 2 over 3 times 3 equals 2. 3 times 2/3, we multiply across, is going to be 6 over 3 equals 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 equals 2. Alright, so for this one we have 2 times b plus 1 equals 2. So this one, we will, hold on, there's something. Alright, so this one we would distribute, and we would do 2 times b, which is 2b. 2 times 1 is positive 2 equals 2. And then we would just continue to work it out. So what's the answer to that after it's worked out?
You said, oh, so you know
What would b equal? That's all I want to hear.
0.
Huh?
0.
So b equals 0. If you plug that in, you can check it and see if it's correct. Alright, so So with one like this, if you're going to distribute it, make sure you distribute the b to both numbers. So not just the first number. So it will be negative 5b plus 2b. You distribute to both numbers if you're going to do it that way, but I would just write the parentheses first. Alright, so here we got that. Oh, we're done with that one. Alright, so now we're going to do this one again. So we have m plus 2,
It's m plus 4.
m plus 4 divided by 2 minus 1 equals 2. So again, this is all about division, then we have a subtraction. So we're going to start our addition subtraction first. So we're going to add 1. That leaves us with m plus 4 over 2 equals 3. Now we have division, so we're going to multiply by 2 to get rid of the division. That leaves us with m plus 4 equals 6. And now we have addition again, so we subtract 4. And that leaves us with m equals 2. Somebody plug that in and let me know if it's right. Plug in our answer, let me know if it's right. Somebody. Come on, somebody. Do that in your head. Now when you're plugging in your answers, don't forget, when you're solving for the variable, your order of operations is kind of backwards, and you do your addition, subtraction first, then your multiplication and division. But when you plug in your answer back in, make sure you're following your correct order of operations. P.E.M. DOS. Come on, let me know if it's right. We plug in 2. That leaves us with 2 plus 4 divided by 2 minus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 4 is... Really? Yeah, I thought I was going to create a song. Just hurry up so we can continue.
I don't think that's the right.
Boy, if you don't plug that in and come on.
I got 3 over 2.
How you got 3 over 2? That don't even make sense. What problem did you plug it into? E.
It doesn't equal 3. You have on the board equal. You did a whole different thing.
Oh, we're doing m plus 4 over 2 minus 1 equals 2. That's the same thing I copied from right here. And m equals 2. So plug that in and let us know if it's the right answer. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh.
Is it correct? Okay, Joshua has verified that it's correct. I got 3 over 2. I'm going to bring my camera so I can take pictures of you at this board. See how much time we got left. I might just go ahead and get the after school work. Sure wish I could pause it. I've got to get some more workers. Not that much.
God bless
All right, just understand.
God bless you. God bless you. America.
Alright, so copy these down, pause the video, work on them, then continue to see if you got the correct, look, I almost knocked it over, to see if you got the correct answer. Yeah, you did, because you kicked it.
It was perfectly fine.
Hey, you almost, you kicked it, so you almost.
There was a chance.
You almost. This is not gonna work. You can see my green marker has been revived. Ooh. What?
I can't see. I still can't see.
I'm trying to figure out what other problems we had did. Oh yeah.
T minus 2 plus 1 equals 7. I can't see.
Fraction over.
Plus 2 plus 3. It must be 0. Really? Nobody told you to do that. Minus equals 2. I can't see. I can't see.
You gotta come to this boy anyway. I don't worry about it.
What that does was after school work.
No, do you see after school work on that?
Wow. I wrote down after school work.
Well, just repeat. You need to do them in there anyway. Or whatever ones you don't do on the board. Come on. Alright, Joshua. Do the ones on the left and I shall do the ones, no, you do the ones on the right.
Well, I shall do
And
the
I
ones on the
shall do the ones on the left.
But I'm left-handed.
Do the ones on the right.
But I'm left-handed.
No, I do the ones on the right. Yeah. Alright, so we have t minus 2 over 3 plus 1 equals 7. Just say what you're doing, but you don't have to explain. Just give me these markers. Oh my goodness.
Subtracting 1 from both sides. And I get t minus 2.
You can't see that. Or barely. All of it. Press.
I did just press it.
Well, wholly different.
That's you training it to do wrong.
Yeah, okay. Wholly different then. Keep turning it around until you find a spot. Really? When I say hold it different, I just meant turn the marker. Why you still write so big, taking up all the space?
Yeah. Alright. So now I'm gonna go ahead and
Okay, that's t over t minus 2 over 3 equals 6. Just tell me what to do.
yeah, that's what I did. This
Tell me what to
alright, now you're
do.
alright, now you're
Act like you're writing.
alright, so now you're supposed to multiply 3 on both sides. So now you should have t minus 2 equals 18.
Didn't I say you were right?
So now you're supposed to add 2 to both sides, and now you get t equals 20.
Alright, so we plug that in, we get 20 minus 2 over 3. So 20 minus 2 is 18. 18 divided by 3 is 6. And 6 plus 1 is 7. Alright, second one, this one. 2b times a plus 2 equals 40.
So first, what thou art about to do is add this.
So-
8 plus 2 equals 10.
Alright,
Yeah, 10. Alright. Now you do, so that's going to be 2b times 10, which is going to equal 20b. Now you're going to go ahead and divide 20 on both sides. 40 divided by 20 equals.
let's think about it. Alright, so we plug in our 2, we get 2 times 2, which is 4, times 8 plus 2, which is 10. So 4 times 10 is 40. 40 equals 40. Alright, the last one.
6
Let's make it.
times negative 5 plus a plus 2a equals 10. Go ahead and do the distributive property. Go ahead and do the distributive property would be 30, negative 30. And then 6 times a equals 6a. And go ahead to a and all that stuff. So now you go ahead and combine like terms, 6a and 2a, which are both positive. So it'll be 30 plus negative 30 plus 8a equals 10. So now you go ahead and add 30 to both sides. And it will be 8a equals 40. So now you go ahead and divide 8 on both sides, and you get a equals 5.
Alright, so we plug that in, we get negative 5 plus 5 in the parentheses, which is going to be 0. And then 6 times 0 is 0. And then we're left with 2 times a, which would be 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10, so that's correct. Alright, so now we have negative 2. You're both so beautiful, and then got to rest for 2 weeks and we get one problem, one good problem.
What?
The marker got to rest for 2 weeks and then you get one good problem. So now we have negative 2 minus z divided by 1 equals 3. So we're going to multiply by 1 and we're left with negative 2 minus z equals 3. And then we add 2. And we're left with negative z equals 5. And so then divide by negative 1. And we're left with z equals negative 5. If we plug that in, we get negative 2 minus negative 5. If we plug it in, we get negative 2 minus negative 5. Not negative 2 minus 5. Okay? Make sure you remember that. And so that rewrites as negative 2 plus 5, which is 3. 3 divided by 1 is 3. Alright, so now we have c times 2 minus 5 equals negative 1. We have no variables in the parentheses, so it's going to be C times -3, which is -3C, equals -1 divided by -3. C equals +1/3, because -1 divided by -3. So we plug that in, we have 1/3 times 2 minus 5, which is -3. If we multiply across, we get -3 over 3 over +3, which is equal to -1, which is equal to -1. Alright, so we have 3 times a minus 5 equals 12. We have a variable, so we're going to distribute. So it's going to be 3a. 3 times -5 is -15. Then we add 15. Then 3a equals 27. We divide by 3. A equals 9. If we plug it in, we have 3 times 9 minus 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 equals 12. Divide out.
But
Yeah, you can see you.
Couldn't see what it was.
No, I'm talking about on the board. It's easy.
What?
Come. Right there, see? Baby paying attention.
Alright, so now I'm gonna get some after school work.
Yes, class.
After school. Some after school work.
The real after school.
Some after school work. Some after school. After school. After school. After school. I swear. I swear. I swear. Oh, y'all play too much. Going back to the original. The original. Alright. Ew. Oh, it's like something. I can go with that.
Love you, Miss Hampton. Always changing problems. Always changing problems.
Because practice makes perfect. And you write it like that and do the work.
Always negatives.
Yeah.
There's not going to be very many negatives in life. Alright, yeah, there will. What's that? It's like 1 plus 4. You might as well just do 5.
I'm throwing in some extra to see if y'all gonna catch it.
You said what?
I said, yeah, I'm throwing in some extra to see if y'all gonna catch it.
My if I already caught it. So you think you're better than me? I think you do. All right, grass. Six till 4. Can't say.
Alright. Alright, so this is your after school work. And Laura says the same, we'll go over it tomorrow. And then, well, you're gonna be taking
And then we all about to be taking the test.
and then, okay, you're doing it, you take somebody else, Mike. Well, they have all the videos, they're gonna take all these videos. Yeah, so then a test tomorrow, if Laura says the same. Or whenever you're done watching this whole set of videos, that's when I guess your parent will give you a test. It's kind of confusing because how we're doing it and then y'all watching it here, so forgive me if it's confusing. You'll take a test when your parents give you a test. That'll be worked out in time. And then after that, what's tomorrow, Thursday or is today Thursday? No, tomorrow's Friday.
Yes.
So next week, if the Lord says the same, we're going to be working on word problems, implement all this reading word problems. Because I think that'll help deepen your understanding as well. As far as why it sets up the way it does, if you can apply it to some